All right, testing 1, 2, 10. Welcome back inside the Neural Dojo podcast, where humans and machines meet to think out loud. Around here, we call it binary banter. These are short, smart conversations about how intelligence, creativity, and curiosity evolve together. I'm Kyrie, aka KT, the AI Sensei, and today we're talking about something I think a lot of people are feeling, even if they haven't put the words around it yet. AI fatigue. Why AI feels so overwhelming right now. That's what we're getting into today. And I want to define that right up front. AI fatigue is that mental exhaustion people feel from constantly hearing about AI. New tools, new updates, new features, new threats, new hacks, new workflows, and new people online acting like they discovered the golden goose for every new release or AI update. And listen, I say that with love. Well, mostly love. Because here's the thing. I don't think most people are actually tired of AI. I think people are tired of the noise around AI. They're tired of every week feeling like there's a new model to understand, a new app to install, a new workflow to copy, and a new creator telling them, if you're not using this by Tuesday, your business is cooked. And honestly, no wonder people are exhausted. That's not education. That's not strategy. That's a panic treadmill with better graphics. So today, I want to slow this down because ignoring AI is not the move. Let's be clear about that. AI is changing how people work, create, search, communicate, how they build, market, and make decisions. But letting the loudest people online define AI for you, that's how you end up overwhelmed, underinformed, and somehow subscribe to newsletters you don't even remember signing up for. So this episode is a reset. We're going to talk about the noise, the shortcut bait, what real AI leverage looks like, and 2 dojo drills to help you get back to practical action. Because that's the point. Not hype, not fear, not replace your whole staff with a prompt, practical action. Now, the first thing I want to say is this. If you feel tired of AI, that does not mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're behind. It doesn't mean you're not innovative. It might just mean your inputs are messy. And by inputs, I mean the stuff you're consuming. Things like your feed, your newsletters, your podcasts, your group chats, your timeline, your YouTube homepage, which sees one ChatGPT video and suddenly thinks you want to build a $40,000 per month AI automation agency from your kitchen table. Very helpful, very sane. But seriously, that stuff adds up because every AI update gets framed like a crisis. A new model drops, crisis. A new tool launches, crisis. Somebody adds AI to a spreadsheet, crisis. At some point, everything starts sounding like an emergency. And when everything gets treated like an emergency, eventually your brain says, you know what, I'm out. That's fatigue. Not because AI isn't useful, but because the way we're talking about it is chaotic. And I want you to hold on to this line. You're not behind just because you didn't test every tool that went viral this week. You're behind when you stop asking what actually matters for your work. That's the difference. There's awareness and then there's urgency. You should be aware of what's happening, but you don't need to treat every update like it deserves a meeting, a new subscription, and 3 hours of your Saturday. Now, part of the reason this all feels so overwhelming is because we're living in what I'd call the shortcut economy. And the shortcut economy is simple. The more outrageous the claim, the better it performs. So people say stuff like agencies are dead, stop hiring, GPT replaced my team, or this one prompt made me rich. And then, of course, the classic AI will replace everybody in 6 months. And let's just breathe for a second. Because some of that is not strategy. That's content bait. That's attention farming. That's somebody trying to make you feel just uncomfortable enough to keep watching. Again, some of y'all aren't tired of AI. You're tired of people who discovered ChatGPT 3 months ago teaching like they invented electricity. Look, I'm not saying new people can't learn fast. I'm not saying you need 20 years in tech to have a useful thought. That's not the point. The issue is when confidence outruns competence. The issue is when people sell certainty without context. The issue is when every tool becomes the only tool you need. Every feature becomes a game changer and every workflow becomes, the secret nobody's telling you. And this is where people get confused because AI actually is powerful. That's what makes debate work. If the tools were completely useless, the hype would burn out faster. But the tools aren't useless. They're useful. The problem is that useful gets inflated into magical and magical gets monetized. So instead of saying, here's how AI can help you draft a better client follow-up, they say, never write emails again. Instead of saying, here's a workflow that saved me 2 hours, they say AI built my entire business while I slept. Come on. A little honesty would be nice. So let's reframe this. AI does not replace thinking. It amplifies thinking. AI does not automatically create strategy. It accelerates execution. AI does not run a business. People, systems, processes, and judgment run businesses. AI can support all of that, but it does not magically make the hard parts disappear because AI is a multiplier. And multiplication gets real awkward when the number you're multiplying is 0. Bad thinking plus AI becomes faster bad thinking. Weak strategy plus AI becomes more content nobody needed. Messy operations plus AI becomes automated confusion. That's not the AI's fault. That's the foundation. And this is why judgment matters more now, not less. The better you're thinking, the more useful AI becomes. The clearer your process, the more AI can help. So what does real leverage look like? And this is where we have to make it boring on purpose. Because real AI leverage usually does not look like the viral posts. Real leverage looks like better decisions, faster iteration, and cleaner execution. That's it. Better decisions, faster iteration, cleaner execution. If AI isn't helping you with one of those three, there's a good chance you're just playing with it, which is fine, by the way. Play matters. But don't confuse experimentation with implementation. Better decisions means AI helps you compare options and pressure test assumptions, before you run too far in the wrong direction. It helps you summarize messy information, identify blind spots, and turn vague thoughts into actual criteria. So instead of asking AI, write me a plan, ask, what are the trade-offs? What risk am I missing? What should I decide before moving forward? That's useful. That's leverage. That's not the shiny stuff, but it's the stuff that improves your thinking. And I'll be honest, this is one of the biggest ways I use AI. Before I use it to write something, I often use it to challenge the thinking behind the thing. Not just write me a post, more like, what am I missing? What's weak here? Who would disagree? What assumption might not hold up? That's what a value is. Because at that point, AI isn't replacing my thinking. It's giving me a sparring partner. Okay, so as you know by now, this is the Neural Dojo. We train over this way. We don't just ask the AI to hand us answers and then call it mastery. Now, faster iteration is the second piece. AI can help you create more attempts, more drafts, more hooks, more angles, more versions, more ways into the same idea. And that matters because quality often comes through reps. AI does not guarantee better work, but it can give you more shots at better work. And if you have judgment, if you have taste, if you know what you're trying to say, more attempts can get you to a stronger version faster. That's a real use case. Not AI wrote my whole brand, more like AI helped me test 5 different ways to explain one important idea, and then I picked the one that actually sounded like me. That's practical. Cleaner execution is the third piece, and this might be the least sexy one, but it might be the most useful. AI can help you create checklists, organize notes, turn meetings into action plans, draft follow-ups, build simple SOPs, summarize research, and clean up messy thoughts. That stuff matters. The sexy AI use case is I replace my team. The useful AI use case is I stop losing action items after meetings. Not as viral, but much more valuable. And this is where I've had to check myself too. Because look, I teach this stuff. I'm in this world every day. I'm constantly seeing new tools, new workflows, new models, uh, new claims, and new people popping up. Like, here's how I automated my whole life. And even I have moments where I'm like, all right, do I need to test this? Sometimes the answer is yes. But a lot of times the honest answer is no, Kyrie, you do not need another tab open. You need to finish the thing you already said mattered. And that's the filter. The question can't just be, is this new? Everything is new right now. The better question is, does this improve something I actually do? Does it reduce friction? Does it improve quality? Does it help me make a better decision or move faster without getting sloppy? Can I explain the value without sounding like I'm selling a dream in a rented Lamborghini? Because if I can't explain the value plainly, I probably don't understand it well enough yet. And that's one of the reasons AI fatigue hits so hard. People are trying to process too many claims before they've built a filter. So let's build the filter. I'm giving you 2 dojo drills for this week. The first one is the AI noise audit. And this is simple, but don't let simple fool you. When you sit down to do this, think about the AI inputs you consume, the creators, newsletters, YouTube channels, podcasts, social posts, tools, and group chats you keep checking. Then put each one into one of 3 buckets: signal, noise, or maybe later. Signal means this source helps you think better or act better. It gives examples, shows limits, explains trade-offs, and makes you calmer and clearer. Noise makes you feel rushed, confused, anxious, or behind. Everything is urgent, revolutionary, or apparently dead. There's no proof, no process, no practical next step, just vibes, panic, and a caption that starts with "no one knows about this," which usually means everybody knows about it. Then there's maybe later. That's stuff that might be useful, but not right now. Maybe it's too advanced, not tied to your current goals, or just not relevant to the season you're in. That's fine. Not everything has to be consumed right now. The action step is this: mute, unfollow, or pause at least 3 noise sources this week. Because your attention is part of your AI strategy. And if you let the algorithm build your curriculum, don't be shocked when the lesson plan is chaos. That's Dojo Drill 1. The second Dojo Drill is the boring leverage test. And yes, boring is the point. Pick one workflow you actually repeat. Not a fantasy workflow, not "I'm going to build a 7-figure AI empire with one prompt and a dream." A real workflow. Writing emails, planning content, summarizing meetings, reviewing leads, creating proposals, or organizing tasks. Pick one. Then ask 3 questions. Can AI help me make a better decision here? Can AI help me iterate faster here? Can AI help me execute cleaner here? That's it. If it helps with one of those, you probably have a real use case. If it doesn't, skip it for now. Because not everything needs AI. That might sound strange coming from me, but it's true. Sometimes the best AI strategy is knowing where not to use it. Sometimes the mature move is saying this doesn't need automation, this needs clarity, or this doesn't need another tool, this needs a better process. That's how you avoid fatigue. You stop asking, what can AI do? And you start asking, where do I need leverage? That question changes everything, because AI can do a lot. That doesn't mean all of it matters to you. So as we wrap this up, here's what I want you to take with you. AI fatigue is real, but it doesn't mean AI is useless. It usually means the noise got louder than the signal. You're tired of fake shortcuts, tool panic, and people selling the idea that judgment no longer matters. I get it, but don't throw away the tool because the sales pitch got stupid. That's the move. The people who win with AI will not be the people chasing every new tool. It'll be the people who can calmly ask better questions. What problem am I solving? Where does AI actually help? What should still be handled by a human? Because that still matters. What outcome am I trying to improve? Is this giving me better decisions, faster iteration, or cleaner execution? That's the filter. That's how you get out of the noise. That's how AI becomes useful again. And if you're trying to use AI in your business, content, workflows, or team, the goal is not to chase every shiny thing. The goal is to build something useful enough to survive contact with real life. Yeah, man. So with that, we'll call it. You've been inside the Neural Dojo, where binary banter meets mindful conversation. If something sparked your curiosity, share it. Tag a friend who's tired of AI but knows they probably shouldn't ignore it. Until next time, stay curious, stay balanced, and keep training your mind. I'm KT, the AI Sensei. Lock in, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.